It's looking like the Pistons have a real shot to actually develop their young talent this year, as it's kind of looking like they have a culture shift. And this culture shift comes from a whole new staff and most importantly a new head coach, and this is Monty Williams. But in today's video, we'll be looking at the three young players that I love on the Pistons, which is Keke Cunningham, Jaden Ivy, and Asar Thompson. And I'm not talking about Killian Hayes, don't even get me started on that guy. Killian Hayes does not want to use his least dominant hand. Like, I've done more things with my least dominant hand than he's done on the basketball court. Pause. But in all seriousness, we'll be looking at those three players. I'll be breaking down some data on those players that you've probably never seen before, and we'll also be doing some film breakdown. Before we get into the young core of the Pistons, make sure you guys hit that like button and hit that subscribe button if you're new to the channel, as I noticed that more than 90% of you guys are not subscribed. First, we have to talk about Keke Cunningham, probably one of my most favorite players in the league, and the reason for this is because of his playmaking. And I think when it comes to comparing him to the other youngsters in the league, when it comes to creating actual quality passes, he's on the top of my list. And this chart is a very prime example of what I'm talking about. It shows who can create the most passes and who can create it at a higher quality. So basically, who can get the most assists without turning it over so much. And well, Keke Cunningham and Josh Giddey are easily in a league of their own. And to know how good Keke Cunningham played last season, with only 12 games played, he averaged 19.9 points per game, 6.2 rebounds per game, and 6 assists. And I expect Keke Cunningham to have a huge jump in both his playmaking and his scoring, so I will not be surprised if he's averaging 8 assists and 23 plus points. And you guys may be saying, why am I so confident that he's gonna average these numbers? Well, when I look at this scatter plot, you can see that Keke Cunningham is near players like Jason Tatum, Joel Embiid, De'Aaron Fox, and this chart shows us the finishing talent and playmaking talent. And he's right beside Jason Tatum, so I don't see how this guy can't be a star. He has the finishing and the playmaking required to just be a flat out bucket. And what makes Keke Cunningham so good on the offensive end is that he's fundamentally sound. He dribbles the ball simple and he's very patient. And let me show you what I mean. On this play, Keke Cunningham gets the ball in the top of the key and he pump fakes to get Metu to jump. And after this, he sees that his teammate Garza is blocking off Harrison Barnes in the paint. So Keke Cunningham goes to the right side, so Harrison Barnes can't even contest the shot, and he gets the wide open dunk. Keke Cunningham is also very lethal in the mid-range area, and a good example is on this play when Keke Cunningham makes Rudy Gay think he's gonna spin, but in reality, Keke Cunningham just keeps his right pivot foot on the floor, and this allowed Keke Cunningham to use that right foot and fade away for an easy mid-range bucket. And guys, this play just shows us how elite his footwork is as well. Alright guys, now we move on to Jaden Ivy, and let's take a deep dive into his season. So I'm not gonna lie, he did pretty decent last season, averaging 16.3 points per game, 3.9 rebounds per game, and 5.2 assists per game. But one thing that stood out the most to me is his ability to be a versatile playmaker and create for others around him. In fact, to prove how good of a playmaker he was last season, let's take a look at Jaden Ivy's playmaking metrics. So as you guys see, Jaden Ivy's passing creation quality is an A+, which is a 98th percentile. That's nuts. But you may be asking, what does passing creation quality even mean? Well, this stat means that most of the passes that Jaden Ivy gives to his teammates leads to them scoring with more ease. And let me break down some film to show you more what this actually means. So on this first play, Jaden Ivy is running full head of steam at the paint, and this attracts both defenders, causing him to just easily dump it off for Duren, and he gets a wide open dunk. And on the second play here, Jaden Ivy is running a pick and roll with Duren, and he sees that Brook Lopez is playing drop coverage, and this gives him the easy nod to throw up the lob for Duren, and he gets another wide open dunk. So these two plays show us that Ivy literally hands it off on a silver platter to his teammates, so they don't really have to work to get a shot. Duren got 2 wide open dunks. And this is a perfect example of pass creation quality. He makes it easier for everyone else on the team. And coupled with his passing, he's also one of the best dunkers. Like, this dude is another version of Ja Morant. And let me show you how close his game is to Ja Morant. This graph shows us the best finishers and playmakers in the NBA, and Jaden Ivy is literally so close to Ja Morant, and it's scary. And it's so funny how offense works, because as Jaden Ivey's playmaking gets better, it's going to give him even more room to get to the paint and do some even crazier dunks. But to round off this Jaden Ivy analysis, let's look at his key metric grades. So over here, we could see that his 3-point shooting is an A-. Everything else looks pretty decent, but his offensive impact and defensive impact is lacking a little bit. But I think with more run in the league and him getting some more offensive matchups, both these numbers can go up, especially the defensive impact. Now let's move on to the third and final young player that I love on the Pistons, and this is Asar Thompson. The reason why I love him as a player is that he seems like a plug and play type of dude that you can put on any roster in the NBA and he will be good. And you're probably saying, why am I saying this? And this is because he's so good on the defensive end, and I'm telling you, every roster in the NBA values defending. And to be more specific, in the summer league, this dude averaged 2.2 steals per game and 2 blocks per game. So worst case, let's say his offense doesn't pan out to be what it is, this guy's gonna be a literal lockdown at least. But the scariest part is, even if his shooting doesn't turn out to be amazing, he was still one of the most dangerous players in the summer league when it came to just driving and dunking the ball. And to show you how dangerous he is on both aspects of the ball, defending and finishing, let me show you this play right here. So on this play, Asar is going under a screen that is set on Grady Dick, and instantly, instead of keeping his hands down, he keeps both of his hands up, and this causes the ball to ricochet off his left hand, and he grabs it, and now they're in the transition. And when he's in the transition, he sees that it's a 2-on-1 and there's a 5'7" dude in the middle. So what he does is he passes it to the opposite side and catches a very crazy lob. And I also love how simple Asar Thompson plays his offensive game, and let me show you what I mean. On this play, Asar Thompson sees that he has a one-on-one matchup against Grady Dick, and he sees that he has a weaker defender on him. So before the play even forms, he just runs right into Grady Dick, bumps into his body, and this gives him enough room to splash the mid-range. So as you guys see, Asar Thompson is good on the defensive end, and I think once he gets more reps in the NBA, he will be a much better shooter than he currently is. And if he can bump up his 3-point percentage to like a 35-ish, he's gonna be pretty lethal, I'll tell you that. It's pretty clear to see that this Detroit Pistons team have a very bright future, and hopefully these players can feed off each other. Asar Thompson is a young player that's very mature for his age. Even the Detroit Pistons head coach Monty Williams said that he would let Asar Thompson date one of his daughters. This guy is crazy, man.
But make no mistake, I've become a fan of Asar, their toughness. We saw it down the stretch, and played winning basketball, which is something that makes me want to take them home and arrange a marriage with my daughters. You know, it's like...
Well, let me know in the comment section how far you think the Detroit Pistons are going to make it in the Eastern Conference. Will they be a play-in team? Will they even make the playoffs this year? But that's been all for your boy Mubsy Hoops. If you're new to the channel, make sure you guys hit that like button. Let's get this video to 500 likes, and hit that subscribe button if you're new. Join the crew. I'll catch you in the next one.